Hi, I'm Steve Edwards. I'm here to talk with you today about active stretching or mobility stretching, which simply involves moving your joints in ways that promote healthy movement and range of motion. You also enhance synovial fluid flow in joints and prevent joint injury. These active stretch movements come from my experience in yoga, Feldenkrais, and from Steve Maxwell's joint mobility program. Around your joints are pockets of fluid called bursa that provide a cushion and a lubrication for joints. When you move, this fluid inside the bursa, synovial fluid, is pushed into the joint, which acts as a lubricant for healthy joint movement. Have you ever noticed how animals like cats and dogs move and stretch before getting up? This pushes synovial fluid into the animal's joints and prepares it for movement. We can definitely learn something from animals by moving and stretching on a regular basis. These active stretch movements can be used as a warm-up prior to exercise, as a cool-down after your workout, or as a standalone routine. Active stretch movements can be done daily or even multiple times a day. You may notice the morning is a great time to do active stretch, the evening, or really any time of the day. The number of repetitions you perform can range in number anywhere from 10 or 15 to several hundred even, depending on how you feel. Focus on the stretch movements that challenge you. Spend a little more time with those movements. While performing active stretch exercise, never force the movement. Move sensitively and gradually increase the range of motion. There should never be any pain associated with active stretch movements. There may be slight discomfort with some of the movements, but if you were to rate that discomfort on a scale of 1 to 10, never go above a level 3 in pain. While performing the movements, keep your breathing consistent and fluid as well. Now let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to do the neck series. There are basic neck movements and there are more advanced movements. Today we're simply going to focus on the basic movements. And to start with, what we're going to do is focus on the back tip crown of your head and feel that point come up and back. So most of us tend to carry ourselves in a slouched forward position. Again, we're focusing on bringing our head up and back into a neutral position so that you feel relaxed in these muscles around the base of your head, your neck, and your shoulders. So we want to have that neutral, relaxed position in head and neck. To start with, we're going to do side-to-side turning of the head. Very simple. I like to start out a little slower and then gradually increase the speed of my movements. You'll probably notice some little snap, crackle, pops in your movements, so you want to respect that. Never try to force your way through parts of the movement where you're feeling stuck. So keep the movement smooth and controlled. Okay, next movement is a side-to-side turn, or a side-to-side tilt rather. As you're doing this movement, focus on your head sitting on a pivot on the top of your shoulders. Side to side. And now front to back tilt. Again, you're keeping your head up, keeping your head in neutral, and you're simply dropping your head forward and back. Okay, now side-to-side tilt with the crown of your head moving one direction and your chin moving the other direction. Now, these movements all feel really good. And after you do several of them, you notice the movement smooths over, it gets easier. Okay, now the chicken head movement. In this movement, your head is coming forward and slightly down, and then back. Kind of like a chicken. Keep breathing when you're doing these movements. Okay, now a lateral glide movement, kind of like the funky dancers do. One way to start this movement that might help you is to bring your hands up onto your shoulders and look in a mirror and watch yourself perform the movement. It's one that may take a little bit of practice to get the feeling for. But it's a side to side glide. You may also find that pushing against your thighs with your hands helps with that movement as well. And next is a combined chicken head movement with a lateral glide. So you're moving in a circle, forward, side, back, side. And reversing directions. Okay, now a figure 8 movement starting with your head in a back position. I'm moving left, front, back, right, front, back, left, and right. Left, front, back, right, front, back. Figure 8 movement. A little more complex, but as you perform these movements, you'll start to feel much greater freedom in your movement, ease in your movement. Okay, figure 8 movement now starting with your head forward, left, back, front, right, back, front, left, and right. Figure 8 style. I always like to perform these neck movements in the morning. They really feel good. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll have a little bit of a stiffness in my neck. Okay, next is a nose figure 8. So picture yourself drawing on a chalkboard with your nose, and you're going to start. Turn your head forward and to the left, and then up and to the right. Your head comes up, then drops forward to the right, turning up and to the left. Forward to the left, up and to the right, and so forth. Now, as I mentioned earlier, different points in the movement may feel stiffer to you. So be conscious of that and find those points. As I turn to my left, it feels pretty good. I can shorten the movement in figure 8, or I can turn over to the right hand side. I notice a little more of a snap, crackle, pop in my movement to the right, so I'm going to spend a little more time here with this figure 8 movement. The position of tilt in your head can be forward slightly or back slightly. Now my head is leaning back, and I'm performing that same figure 8 pattern with my nose. Tilting straight back now. And then back to my left. Head slightly tilting back. So explore these different movements. Go where it feels good. Spend a little time in those areas where you feel greater stiffness in your neck.